They say Taiwan is one of Asia's shining gems, a place of neon lights, world-famous night markets, sleek skyscrapers, and buzzing city life. From a distance, Taipei looks glamorous, modern, and full of opportunity. But what's the real story behind those glowing cityscapes? What is life really like for the people who call Taiwan home? That's the journey we're about to take, a journey that will peel back the layers of glamour and reveal the truth behind the city life of Taiwan. The first thing you notice when you land in Taipei is the skyline. Taipei 101, once the tallest building in the world, towers over the city like a symbol of progress. Around it, glass and steel skyscrapers stretch upward, glowing in every shade of neon at night. On the surface, it feels like the future. But as you walk deeper into the city streets, you discover a fascinating contrast. Modern high-rises stand side by side with decades-old apartment blocks, some worn and crumbling, with hanging laundry blowing in the wind. Glamour and grit live side by side. This duality is at the heart of life in Taiwan. Yes, it's a modern, wealthy society with cutting-edge tech companies and efficient public transport. But behind the image, daily life is full of challenges. From high costs of living to long work hours to hidden struggles that outsiders rarely see. Let's start with what makes city life glamorous. Taiwan is a technology powerhouse. It produces the semiconductors that power the world's smartphones, laptops, and cars. Taipei is buzzing with innovation and startups. Cafes are filled with young professionals typing on laptops, and metro trains glide smoothly across the city with clockwork precision. For many, it feels like a dream, a place where modern convenience is everywhere. Then there's the food. Taiwan's night markets are legendary. Imagine walking through streets bursting with sizzling skewers, bubble tea stands, stinky tofu frying in massive woks, and vendors calling out to you at every corner. Food here is not just a meal. It's an adventure, and it's one of the biggest reasons tourists fall in love with Taiwan. And yes, locals do enjoy it too. A quick dinner at a night market stall can be cheaper than cooking at home, and the variety is endless. Shopping is another part of the glamour. Taiwan's cities are full of sleek malls, luxury stores, and endless arcades of consumer delights. For those who can afford it, city life means access to the latest gadgets, fashion, and entertainment. Combine that with vibrant festivals like the Lantern Festival or Dragon Boat Festival, and it feels like Taiwan is always celebrating something. But here's where the truth begins to show. For locals, especially young people, city life isn't as easy as it looks on Instagram. Wages in Taiwan have remained relatively stagnant for decades. The cost of housing in Taipei is sky high, with tiny apartments renting for prices that eat up most of a worker's income. For many young professionals, owning a home in the capital feels like an impossible dream. They live in small studio apartments or share flats, working long hours just to make ends meet. Work culture in Taiwan is another hidden truth. The country has a reputation for hard work and discipline, but that often translates into long hours, late nights, and little time for rest. The glamorous office towers hide a reality of stress, competition, and burnout. Many people juggle multiple jobs just to cover expenses. It's a side of Taiwan that tourists don't see when they walk through Shilin Night Market or ride the metro. Family expectations add another layer. Taiwanese culture is deeply rooted in Confucian values, which emphasize respect, duty, and family honor. For young people, that often means pressure to succeed academically and professionally, to provide for their parents, and to sacrifice personal dreams for the good of the family. On the surface, life looks modern and free, but underneath are traditional values that shape every choice. Still, Taiwan's cities aren't only about struggle. They're also about resilience. The people of Taiwan have lived through colonization, political struggles, and natural disasters like typhoons and earthquakes. Yet they always rebuild, adapt, and find ways to thrive. Walk through any city, and you'll see this resilience in action. Small, family-owned shops surviving alongside massive tech companies, elderly people exercising in parks every morning, and communities coming together during festivals and crises. Then there's the question of identity. Taiwan is a modern democracy with its own culture, language, and pride, yet it lives under the shadow of China's claims. For many Taiwanese, city life means balancing this political uncertainty with everyday routines, going to work, paying rent, raising families, while never knowing what the future might bring. That tension is part of life here, invisible to tourists, but very real to locals. One of the biggest shocks for many who move to Taiwan is how different the glamorous image is from reality. Expats often arrive expecting a cheap cost of living, only to discover that while food and transport are affordable, housing is extremely expensive. They expect an easy lifestyle but find themselves adjusting to cultural nuances, language barriers, and a slower path to career success. The truth is, Taiwan is not just a playground of night markets and temples. It's a place where people hustle, sacrifice, and adapt every day. But perhaps that's what makes Taiwan so fascinating. The glamorous side, the food, the festivals, the neon lights, is real, but so is the struggle. And together, they create a society that's both modern and deeply human. At the end of the day, life in Taiwan isn't about choosing between glamour and reality. It's about embracing both. It's about savoring a bowl of beef noodle soup at a night market after a long day at the office. It's about riding the metro past gleaming skyscrapers and old temples, realizing that both are part of the same story. It's about knowing that while the city looks glamorous, the truth behind it is even more powerful, because it shows the resilience, culture, and humanity of the people who live there. So the next time you see a photo of Taipei 101 glowing against the night sky, remember that behind that glamorous city life is a story far deeper, richer, and more real than you might imagine.